WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 11.
Funeral plans are underway for former President and Nobel Peace Prize winner Jimmy Carter, who died Sunday at the age of 100. It's our top story at 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry is off tonight. Tributes are pouring in from around the world for the late Jimmy Carter. And now plans for his official national funeral are being released so people from coast to coast can pay their respects. Christian Benavidez is here for you tonight with the latest on the arrangements.
Jimmy Carter, the former peanut farmer, Navy veteran, state senator, governor, president, and Nobel Peace Prize recipient, is being remembered as a peacemaker, a humble man of faith and integrity, tirelessly dedicated to the causes of democracy and helping others. Following his time in the White House, the single-term president went to work helping build hundreds of homes across the country with Habitat for Humanity. This man lives in a home Jimmy and Rosalind Carter helped build in Mishawaka, Indiana.
Thank you, Jimmy Carter. I'm very grateful for you and what you did for me and my family.
I have always been a Christian, and I think one of the key things we learn from Christ is that we should help people in need.
The national funeral for Jimmy Carter will be held at the Washington National Cathedral on January 9th. President Biden has declared that day a national day of mourning and ordered the nation's flags be flown at half-staff for 30 days. While tributes are pouring in from around the world, perhaps the most notable came from Carter's 5 living successors.
He was a statesman and humanitarian. And Jill and I lost a dear friend.
Former and President-elect Trump said while he strongly disagreed with Carter, the late president worked hard to make America a better place, and for that I give him my highest respect. Bill Clinton said Carter worked tirelessly for a better, fairer world. George W. Bush said he was a man of deeply held convictions and that he dignified the office. And Barack Obama said Carter vowed to always tell the truth, and he did, advocating for the public good. Consequences be damned. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, Atlanta.
Former President Carter was a driving force in the Habitat for Humanity program, and advocates with our state chapter say he was often first on the job site and last to leave, helping build homes across the country and right here in Michigan.
I think he believed in the Habitat model of a hand up, not a handout, and that really drew him into working and helping families that just didn't get a fair shake in life and were able to get a hand up in owning a home.
Wilkinson explained that Habitat doesn't give homes away. Families who qualify receive a mortgage that is no more than 30% of their income, and they have to volunteer some of their own time with Habitat. The 39th president had a close friendship with the president who came before him, Gerald R. Ford. That friendship dates back to the 70s. The Gerald R. Ford Museum in Grand Rapids has a new display dedicated to the former president that you can see for yourself. The display features a number of photographs and campaign buttons highlighting their friendship.
Even though they might not agree on, any number of policy issues, their core values of public service were there, and that really helped them work together.
The display opened today and will remain open until the day of President Carter's funeral on January 9th. Also in Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer ordered U.S. and Michigan flags throughout the state to be lowered today through Monday, January 27th to honor and remember former President Carter. Flags should be returned to full staff on January 28th. And be sure to stay with 6 News here on air, online at WLNS.com, and through our 6 News app for the latest on the passing of former President Carter leading up to his funeral. The investigation continues today into a shooting in Lansing that left 1 person dead. Right now, a person of interest is in custody for the killing and 2 people who had been shot. A 36-year-old man was taken to a hospital where he was later pronounced dead. A 25-year-old man was also taken to a hospital. He is expected to survive. Police say they have made an arrest and recovered multiple firearms from the scene. They say this is still an active investigation, but stay with 6 News. We will bring you updates as we get them. Well, Sunday's homicide was the 11th of 2024. It's the same as last year, but a lot less than some previous years. Our Zach Priest spoke with Lansing Police Chief Robert Backus today about why the numbers are down.
There's a lot of support for us for addressing our violent crime and crime overall. I think that's one of the reasons why we've seen decreases in a lot of our different crimes.
The 11 homicides in 2023 and 2024 are down from previous years. like 2021 when there were 25 homicides and 2022 when there were 15. Backus says the supportive community plays a huge role in their success from last year.
One of the reasons that we think that our numbers are declining is because of how much community involvement and law enforcement partnerships we have currently operating in the city of Lansing.
Overall, Backus says crime dropped by 8% in 2024 compared to the previous year, with many violent crimes like sexual assaults and non-fatal shootings down as well. Although many violent crimes are down, 911 calls are actually up over the last few years, but Backus sees that as a positive.
Between last year and this year, we've actually increased the number of calls for service, and I don't take that as a bad thing. I think that's a good sign when people are reaching out to the police department to report complaints and asking for specific attention.
Backus says things will never be perfect, and the police department will be evaluating areas of need going into 2025.
No, we're always going to look at where we need our staffing at. So we're going to look at the different areas of the city, and we're going to start looking at the crime patterns and say, is there a certain area in the city where there may be a trend of more crime happening, specifically violent crime?
And that was Zach Priest reporting. If you know anything about any recent crimes in Lansing, including last night's homicide, call Crime Stoppers at 517-483-STOP. Your information could make you eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000. And remember, you don't have to leave your name to leave a tip. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed 8 bills into law today. One of them expands affordable housing options for Michiganders. It reduces the barriers that renters must overcome while looking for a place to live. Some of the other bills will protect Michiganders who are testifying in the courtroom, fight human trafficking, and support economic development in our state. Including today's legislation, Governor Whitmer has signed a record 1,431 bipartisan bills into law since taking office.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have got big changes on the way over the coming days. First with a cool down tomorrow, mid-30s, and some snowfall as well. And then it gets really cold with more snow chances. Our chances of seeing at least 6 inches of snow over the next 10 days hasn't changed since earlier today. UP along the favored lake effect belt zones, there's a really good chance of at least 6 inches or a lot more in the way of snow. But there's a decent chance here in mid-Michigan that we will pick up a half a foot of snow. Again, that's over the next 10 days. Not a huge amount, but it certainly will accumulate because as you see on the high temperature trend, it's going to get cold. Mid-40s today, upper 30s tomorrow. Then we drop into the 20s, and that's where we stay until late next week when we actually fall into the teens for highs, and there's going to be a little lake effect snow around for us then as well. Tonight we're watching rain to the south, but as it bumps into the colder air, we may initially start as rain showers, but probably go over to snow showers and light snow during the day. So through 7 o'clock, not a whole lot happening. Don't walk out tomorrow morning and go, where's the 2 inches of snow you promised? It's not going to fall by that point. Mid-morning hours, we change over to some wet snow, and then we've got light snowfall through the afternoon and the evening hours. Storm system starts to move away tomorrow night, but there'll still be a few lake effect snow showers popping up early Wednesday morning. Those two will start to dissipate as we move into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. A look at the snowfall tonight through tomorrow. We're not talking huge amounts, just an inch or two, maybe as much as 3 in spots. These numbers are up a little bit since 5 and 6 o'clock today. A new computer model runs tonight, just like the idea of some of that snow accumulating, especially on grassy areas. Roadways tomorrow, probably okay. I mean, there may be a little slush here and there, but with temperatures in the mid to the upper 30s, overall, we should do pretty well travel-wise, so good news there. As we check out the temperatures tonight, 31 for Lansing, still 35 in St. John's. We're down to 28 currently in afternoon. In Grand Ledge, we're at 31 degrees after a high of 47. Wind gust today 25 miles per hour. Jackson Cam, we've got a temperature currently of 30 degrees. Our wind gust also up to 30 today. High temperature made it up to 47. And finally in Hillsdale, where the precipitation will likely start first late tonight. Temperatures at 31 degrees. That is the low for the day. Well, 31, 31, and 31, the high and low and wind gust, and a 44 high temperature. Here's a look at tonight's forecast. Overnight low 31 degrees. Increasing clouds, that's going to occur right around midnight. 31 is obviously my lucky number tonight. Temperatures tomorrow will climb into the mid-30s, upper 30s perhaps, with some light wet snow through the afternoon and the evening hours. The 6-day forecast on Wednesday, 33, 20s through the weekend. Some snow showers Sunday and some widespread snow is possible late Sunday into Monday, depending on the track of the storm system. Then it's just cold with more typical, pop-up, especially during the relative heat of the day. Instability builds. You get some lake effect snow showers then.
I'll tell you what, I'd love 31 degrees for that 6 plus 6, not what we're seeing.
After those numbers, when we hit like the mid to upper 30s again, that's going to be like a heat wave.
It will. It feels so nice. All right. Thank you, David. Coming up here on 6 News at 11, we're going to show you where the world's population stands as we prepare to begin a new year. Stay with us. That and more still to come.